الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونستهديه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا فإنه من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. أما بعد فإن أحسن الحديث كلام الله عز وجل وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله تعالى عليه وآله وسلم وأن شر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار نعوذ بالله تعالى من النار. أوصيكم ونفسي بتقوى الله عز وجل فقال الله سبحانه وتعالى يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. I begin by reminding myself and all of you regarding the taqwa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is to obey Allah and to leave His prohibitions, protecting yourself from misguidance and disaster in this world and from Allah's anger and His punishment in the hereafter. Allah reminded us of taqwa by saying, O you who believe, practice the taqwa of Allah. Let taqwa be a practical thing in your life. The way Allah deserves, and do not die except in the state of Islam. May Allah Azza wa Jal, from His generosity, fill our lives with taqwa and give us a death upon Islam and resurrect us with our and His beloved Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. Allahumma ameen. I was not able to visit you in the month of Ramadan, the month of blessings, the month of ta'at, the month of the obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This beautiful season that has just passed us. But I do hope that all of you reaped the fruits of Ramadan and had a very blessed Eid. أسأل الله عز وجل سبحانه أن يتقبل منا طاعتنا وشكر سعينا وسامح تقصيرنا وتفريطنا. اللهم آمين. يا أمة التوحيد أبشري، يا أمة الصلاة أبشري، يا أمة الزكاة أبشري، يا أمة رمضان أبشري، يا أمة الحج أبشري. Good news and glad tidings for this ummah. For indeed this is the only ummah on the face of this earth that remains today. The only ummah that establishes salah for its Lord subhanahu. The only ummah that establishes, that gives zakah for Allah. The only ummah that fasts a whole month for Allah. The only ummah that performs hajj. The only ummah that raises the banner of tawheed, the oneness of Allah. The only ummah that raises the flag of La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. The only ummah that believes in all the prophets and messengers of Allah. The only ummah that has with it the preserved message from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the form of Quran. The only ummah that enjoins good and forbids evil. Show me another ummah that does all of these beautiful things today. For this is what we are supposed to be proud of. This is the ummah of Laylatul Qadr. So be proud of yourself. Be proud of whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made you. Be proud of your identity. You are Abdullah and Amatullah. You are the slave of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The only ummah that remains today that worships Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wallahi, our honor is in worshipping Allah. Our honor is in submitting ourselves to Allah. Our honor is in surrendering ourselves, our whims and desires to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For without this, there is no honor. Remove salah, where is our honor? Remove zakah, where is our honor? Remove siyam, where is our honor? Remove hajj, where is our honor? Remove enjoining good and forbidding evil, where is our honor? Wallahi, our honor is in obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We are the ummah of action. We are the ummah of obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guided us to the path of Islam. And there is no greater honor than that. You know, the first hijrah that took place was a hijrah to Abyssinia. In the very early days of Islam, when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his companions were suffering from the persecution at the hands of Quraysh. Some companions were being tortured, some were being killed, some were being imprisoned. So subhanallah, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave permission to some Muslims to migrate to Abyssinia because the king there, the Negus, he was a just king who ruled the people with justice, though he was a Christian. So when the Muslims escaped secretly to Abyssinia, some of the leaders of Quraysh found out of this secret exit. So they sent some people, some of their messengers, to go after these Muslims and bring them back. So when they got to Abyssinia, they said to the king, "O king, some of our people have escaped to you. We need them back. We need you to send them back with us." So he was a just king. He said to his people, "Bring these Muslims. I want to talk to them." Upon bringing them, Ja'far ibn Abi Talib radiallahu anh became their spokesperson. He stepped up and the king asked him, "Who are you people? What do you believe in? Why did you run away from your own people?" So Ja'far ibn Abi Talib radiallahu anh, he stepped up and he said, "We used to be an ignorant people. We used to worship idols. We used to eat the meat of dead animals. We used to commit zina, adultery. The strong among us used to overcome the weak. We used to mistreat our slaves. We used to bury our daughters alive. We used to mistreat women." And he went on and he went on and he went on. Then he said, "So Allah sent us a man, Muhammad ibn Abdullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. We know his lineage. We know his nobility. about his truthfulness and we trust him. We know about his modesty. We know about his integrity. We know about his manners. Allah sent him to us and he calls us to worship Allah alone. And he calls us to abandon the worship of others. He orders us to speak the truth. He asks us to fulfill our trusts. He asks us to return the trust to whom they belong. He asks us to be kind to our relatives and to connect the ties of kinship. He asks us to be kind to our neighbor. He asks us to stay away from sins, from murder, from indecency and shameless deeds. He asks us to stay away from false testimony. He asks us to not consume the wealth of the orphan. And he asks us not to slander someone. Allahu Akbar. We had no identity. And he came and he gave us identity. We didn't know who we were. And he came and he showed us who we are. We are bloodthirsty people. He made us brothers. We were lost. He showed us the way. We were in darkness. He brought to us light. My brothers and sisters, Alhamdulillah for Islam. Wallahi al-Azim, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent to us our Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam with the greatest guidance, Al-Quran, to bring us out of the slavery to everything else, to the slavery of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is why the very famous statement of Rib'i ibn Amir radiallahu anhu, when he reached the borders of Rome, the Roman Empire, they said, "What do you want? Why you came to us from your desert? You want food? We'll give you food. You want water? We'll give you water. You want money? What do you want? You want women? What do you want?" He said, "No. ابتعثنا الله لنخرج العباد من عبادة العباد إلى عبادة رب العباد." He said, "No. Allah sent us. We didn't come. We don't need anything from you. Allah sent us to bring the slaves out of the slavery to the slaves, to the slavery of the Lord of the slaves. وَمِنْ جَوْرِ الْأَدْيَانِ إِلَىٰ عَدْلِ الْإِسْلَامِ وَمِنْ ضِيقِ الدُّنْيَا إِلَىٰ سَعَةِ الدُّنْيَا وَالْآخِرَةِ." And we came to free the people from the injustice and oppression of other religions to the justice of Islam, and from the tightness of this dunya to the vastness of this dunya and the hereafter. Islam came to free us from the slavery to money, from the slavery to women, from the slavery to our lusts and desires, from the slavery to the rulers, from the slavery to our own nafs, from the slavery to one another, to the slavery of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't you see how many people, they made millions and billions and died? Money only destroyed them, never brought them peace of mind. Don't you see those who enslaved themselves to music, it only distanced them from the religion of Allah and the Quran? Don't you see the type of lifestyle that these people have, who enslave themselves to their shahawat, to their whims and lusts? Such people, they die and their thirst was never quenched. Don't you see? Those who enslave themselves to drugs and alcohol, it brought them lower than the status of a simple human being. Don't you see? Allah came to honor you. Allah sent Rasulullah to honor you. Why? To give you one title, to free you from the slavery of everything else, to make you Abdullah, to make you Amatullah, to make you the slave of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allahu Akbar. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us that title, Abshir ya ummata Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Anti khayrul ummah. You are the best of ummah. Best ummah. Subhanallah, how many ummah passed before you? 70 ummah, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us, and you are the last of them and the best of them. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam informed us that you will occupy 1/4 of Jannah. 1/4 of Jannah. When he said that, the Sahaba said, Allahu Akbar walillahi alhamd. Could you imagine? 1/4 of Jannah? 25% of Jannah just for this ummah? The ummah of Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. And all of the ummah before us will share the other three-fourths of Jannah. 1/4 of Jannah for us. Sahaba said, Allahu Akbar walillahi alhamd. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he opened his eyes and he said, I hope from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that this ummah will occupy 1/3 of Jannah. 1/3 of Jannah. Allahu Akbar walillahi alhamd. Shouted the Sahaba once again. And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam smiled and he said, I hope from Jannah that this ummah will occupy Shatrul Jannah, half of Jannah. Allahu Akbar. Half of Jannah for this ummah and half for everybody else. Share half of Jannah. Everybody else, this ummah will occupy 1/2 of Jannah. Allahu Akbar. Be proud of who you are. Be proud of what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made you. My brothers and sisters. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, كنتم خير أمة أخرجت للناس تأمرون بالمعروف وتنهون عن المنكر وتؤمنون بالله. Allah Azza wa Jalla said, you are the best ummah. You are the best ummah brought out for the people. Could you imagine this ummah, every member of this ummah is a source of benefit for the humanity? Muslim, wherever he goes, he is good for the people. He is good for the community. He is good for the society. He is good for the society. Because a Muslim, he doesn't lie. A Muslim doesn't cheat. A Muslim does not scam. A Muslim does not commit zina. A Muslim does not steal. A Muslim, he knows that he is a slave of Allah and he worships Allah day and night. And he worships Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala out of love for Allah, because Allah chose him to be the slave of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah chose you. You are privileged. You are chosen. You are selected. You could have been born in a Hindu family worshipping a cow, worshipping idols. You could have been born in a Christian family worshipping the cross. You could have been born in a Jew family. You could have been born in any other. But Allah chose you. Allah chose you to be a Muslim. And that is a great honor from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. تَأْمُرُونَ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ. Why are you honored, O Ummah of Muhammad? Because you command good and you forbid evil. My brothers and sisters, could you imagine our very honor for this ummah is because this ummah commands good and forbids evil. So what do you say when a Muslim comes in a society that commands evil and forbids good? A Muslim takes part in that. He becomes part and parcel of the society. He loses his identity. He throws his identity in the bag and he begins to do what the people do. He has a girlfriend, she has a boyfriend, he watches pornography, he hangs out with the wrong people, he talks and walks like the people. وَلَا حَوْلَ وَلَا قُوَّةَ إِلَّا بِاللَّهِ الْعَلِيِّ الْعَظِيمِ. My brothers and sisters, we need to be proud of our identity, or else Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wallahi is not in need of us. His deen is not in need of us. His Quran is not in need of us. No doubt Islam is the fastest growing religion in the world. According to Pew Research, 1.8 billion Muslims already. 1.8 billion Muslims already. 1/4 of the world population is Muslim. 1/4. SubhanAllah, we had the Eid prayer in Brooklyn in the open baseball field, and the district attorney, he came there, and he said many things, but one thing that stuck out, you know what he said? He said, you people are 1/3 of New York's population. 1/3 of New York is Muslim. There's about 10 million Muslims in the whole United States. Majority is in New York. You have the numbers. Now, if your numbers are divided, you have no power, no strength. Unity is very important. Those numbers are power. Those numbers are strength. Those numbers are influence. Those numbers can bring about change. You remember, since 9/11, there used to be spying and surveillance of mosques. And you remember, in 2012, we filed a major lawsuit in Supreme Court. And alhamdulillah, as I stand here before you, being the first plaintiff in that case, and our Masjid being the main plaintiff in that case, today I stand before you and tell you this, that court has deemed it illegal for NYPD to spy upon mosques and Muslim businesses. We have power, we have influence, right? Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. We are very strong, but you know, I have to tell you the news. I have to tell you the reality, my brothers and sisters. According to the same Pew Research, about 25% of second generation Muslims. My father was first generation, I am second generation here. About 25% of second generation Muslims in America do not even define themselves as Muslims anymore. 25%. If 1/4 of population of the world is Muslim, then I tell you 1/4 of those who come here are leaving Islam as well. They don't define themselves as Muslims anymore. What are we doing for that? What is our investment for that? May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us among those that support Islam, that support the youth of this ummah, and that invest in protecting our youth, protecting the next generation. The real investment is the investment in the next generation. If we are not investing in the next generation, then our work is in vain, our money is in vain, our job is in vain, our coming in this country is in vain. We will have nothing in this world from that, and the hereafter we will have a big, big accountability. May Allah Azza wa Jal help us. Allahumma ameen. Aqulu qawli hadha wa astaghfirullah li wa lakum. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, wa salatu wa salamu ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. My brothers and sisters, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promised at the tongue of the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam that physically this ummah will never be defeated. You are the only ummah that Allah promised victory. You know that? The other ummah, they came and they're gone. This ummah is promised victory. This ummah will get sick, will become diseased, but this ummah will never die until the day of judgment. Until the day of judgment. But you know, though this ummah will not be defeated physically, but there's one thing that can happen. You think the ummah is defeated today physically? No, ummah is sick. But that's not the biggest part of it. That's not the sad part of it. The sad part is not that the ummah is weak everywhere in the world today, physically. Look at our numbers, 1.8 billion. Some of Muslim countries have nuclear weapons. We have oil, money, gold. We have just about everything. But what has happened to this ummah? This ummah has been conquered psychologically. The control center has been occupied. And when you occupy the control center, everything else doesn't matter. I'll give you an example. A couple of 100 years ago, in this country, in this very country, there was a system, an institution that was very legal. It was called the institution of slavery. What happened? The people here, they brought the slaves from Africa and from different countries. They brought them here in a land that was not theirs. They brought them here from their motherland. And then they changed their names. They changed their culture. They changed their identity. And they put them in such circumstances to the extent that they began to hate themselves for who they are. They called them Negroes. They called them, they were not considered full human beings. They made them hate for who they were. Why am I black? Why am I from this country? Why was it born? They began to hate themselves for who they were. They wanted now to integrate into the society. They wanted now to be like the whites. They wanted to name their children like the white children. They wanted to go to the white schools. They wanted to talk and walk like the white people. Does this sound any familiar? Does this sound any familiar? All of you have children here. Are we not suffering in regards to our youth? Are we not suffering? Where are our shabab? Where are our shabab? When the hairstyles change, when the names change, Muhammad becomes Mo. Muhammad becomes Mo. I had a child that came to our masjid to take the Quran classes. And his name was Ahmad Muhammad. Such a beautiful name. So he came to the masjid. MashaAllah, now he's MashaAllah, he's learning Islam and he knows his identity. But I tell you, what happens to our children, our youth, when they are out of the masjid? When the masjid is not a magnet for them anymore. When the masjid is not the best place for them to be in. They would rather hang out in a different place rather than a masjid. You know what happens? He came to the masjid. I said, what's your name? He says, Ahmed Muhammad. Ahmed Muhammad. I said, you mean Ahmad Muhammad? He said, yeah, something like that. Ahmed Muhammad. So I was like, subhanallah. I was invited to give a speech about Islam at a gathering where NYPD was there, and they told me it was a Quran competition, so we want you to come give a speech and there's going to be a prize ceremony. When I got there, it was blasting music, subhanallah, and the organizers saw me, brought me to the front to speak. As soon as I started speaking, they shut the mic off. They shut the mic. I said, what happened? He said, oh, the organizer told me to shut the mic. So then the organizer came to me and whispered in my ears, can you talk about something else? Because there's non-Muslims here, So, they turned the mic back on. I started speaking, they shut the mic again. I got off the stage, I said, SubhanAllah, my brothers, we have been conquered psychologically before we were conquered physically. Our youth are conquered psychologically. There's no way you can change them until we show them the beauty of Islam, until Masjid become the magnets of Islam, to attract them to the Masjid, to show them the true beauty of Islam. But if our Islam for us is superficial and artificial, then what do you think our second generation will do? Wallahi, you see that. Their names are changing, their hairstyles are changing, their walk and talk is changing, their lifestyles is changing. They're beginning to blend in this society, and they begin to adopt the culture of this society, the culture that is the elements of the culture that go clearly against Islam. Mo has a girlfriend now, and Fatima has a boyfriend now, and subhanallah, no more hijab for Fatima, and no more beard for Muhammad. Why? Because he has taken a different identity. He has now become someone else. He's not himself anymore. Wallahi al-azim, the people will not appreciate us, and they will not honor us, and they will not look up to us so long as we are looking to become someone else. Until and unless we become who we are, until and unless we become whom Allah made us, people will look down upon us, people will belittle us, we will remain the downtrodden in the society, we will remain poor, we will have no honor whatsoever. Wallahi al-azim, the honor for us is the honor in the obedience to Allah. We must return to Allah Azza wa Jal. We must take our children to the masjid. Not only take them, you have to go to the masjid with them. How much Quran do you read? How much istighfar do you do? How much remembrance of Allah do you do? How many salawat do you pray in the masjid? How much Quran have you memorized? That is what you are inheriting to your children, wallahi al-azim. If you're expecting to inherit the same blindly inherited version of the deen that you inherited from your forefathers, and you expect to shove the same version of this deen down the throat of your children, I promise you, your children will not buy it. Your children will not buy it, and they will leave the masajid. They will leave your homes. When they become independent, they will leave Islam altogether. If 25% of children, here second generation, are not defining themselves as Muslims, what are you expecting? What are you expecting on the day of judgment to be behind you of generations of what? Of disbelievers? Is that what you're going to be proud of on the day of judgment? Wallahi al-azim. Yes, you are strong. Our elderly generation, no doubt, you are strong. With all due respect, you are the engine for this ummah. But the youth and the young generation and the shabab, they are the gas for this engine. Without gas, you cannot even turn this engine on. Support the youth. Support the young generation. Invest in the young generation. Invest in them, wallahi. Invest and seek from your masajid to start the young programs for the youth. If the masajid do not have programs for the youth, then this masjid is just a money-making machine. This masjid is just for subhana salah. Wallahi, let me ask you this question. Rasulullah came to establish salah only? He went to wars with Quraysh just to establish salah? Just to give zakat? La wallahi. La wallahi, he came to transform lives. Wallahi, he came to revolutionize the hearts. And if Islam is not doing that to you, Islam is not changing your life, Islam is not revolutionizing your heart, Islam is not in your tongues, in your eyes, in your hands, in your feet, in your actions, then what Islam do you have? Which version of Islam are we following? Subhanallah. That is the same version that we're inheriting to our children. So now this is the solution, and this is the formula that we need to follow. We need to turn to Islam so our children can turn to Islam. We need to feel proud of Islam so our children can feel proud of Islam. We need to turn to the Quran so our children can turn to the Quran. But if we are busy, we're busy, like all the other people out there, busy investing and making the dunya, then what are you expecting from your children? They will be busy doing the same thing. Wallahi, Allah did not create this ummah for that. This ummah, as others are investing in this dunya and they're busy day and night in this dunya, this ummah is preparing for the akhirah. That's your real home. That is where your investment is supposed to be. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Us in Masjid and Salah, alhamdulillah, some of the members here know, subhanAllah, we're investing very, very hard. We are under contract to buy a property, subhanAllah, to turn into a multi-purpose community center, to make an indoor gym for the youth, to make an indoor playground, to make an indoor game room with table tennis and air hockey and, subhanAllah, billiards inside that community center, to make basketball court inside that masjid there. SubhanAllah, we need to turn our masajid into multi-purpose community centers. That is what masjid always was at the time of Rasulullah. It was not just for the salah and Jumu'ah. It was not just for Islamic education. It was for developing communities. Developing communities. And this is what we're investing in, bi'idhnillah azza wa jal. Our vision, bi'idhnillah azza wa jal, Masjid Ansar, to become the exemplary community center that all of the masajid, inshallah, in New York will say, you want a model to follow? Follow Masjid Ansar. This is how you invest in this ummah. This is how you raise this ummah. This is how you give honor to this ummah. This is how you preserve the youth of this generation. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. My brothers and sisters, we need to invest in our youth. We need to invest in our youth. I cannot emphasize that enough. We need to invest in our youth. We need to invest time in our youth. We need to invest money in our youth. We need to invest every resource that's in your hand. We need to invest. Otherwise, you're here today. In 10 years and 20 years from now, the masjid will not be as full as it is today. It will not. They will not come to the masjid. The masjid will become empty. Haunted houses. Where are your youth? The youth are, you go to some community, you know where the youth are, chasing after girls, after, drug addicts, they're selling drugs, alcoholics. This youth, subhanAllah, they're hanging out with the wrong people. They are part of the Hizb Shaitan now. They are part of the party of Shaitan. Who will support the cause of Allah? Ayna Ansarullah? Where are the Ansarullah? Where are the helpers of Allah? Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. In tansurullah yansurkum. يثبت أقدامكم. Or you believe, if you support the cause of Allah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will support you and He will make you firm. He will establish you. But if you don't, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, وَإِن تَتَوَلَّوْا يَسْتَبْدِلْ قَوْمًا غَيْرَكُمْ فَلَا يَكُونُوا أَمْثَالِكُمْ. فَلَا يَكُونُوا أَمْثَالِكُمْ. Allah says, if you turn away, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He will just replace you. He will take Islam from your children, and a lot of people are becoming Muslims, and they're better Muslims than us and our children. Allah will give them Islam because they love Islam, they cherish Islam, they hold fast to Islam. Allah will give them the Islam, and Allah said, they will not be like you. They will love Allah, and Allah will love them, and Allah will bring victory to Islam through them, and you have lost everything in this world and hereafter. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us among those that invest in our own selves, our own future generations, our own communities, our own masajid. This is our identity. This is our identity. Without this, we are nothing, my brothers and sisters. May Allah Azza wa Jalla make us among those that become the sabab to grant victory to Islam. Allahumma inna nas'aluka al-'afwa wal-'afiyata fi dunya wal-akhirah. Allahumma inna nas'aluka al-'afwa wal-'afiyata fi dinina wa dunyana wa ahlina wa amwalina. Allahumma astur 'awratina wa amir ru'atina. Allahumma ihfazna min bayni aydina wa min khalfina wa 'an aymanina wa 'an shama'ilina wa min fawqina wa na'udhu bi'azamatika an nubtala min tahtina. Allahumma waffiqna lima tuhibbu wa tarda. اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من الفتن ما ظهر منها وما بطن. اللهم إنا نسألك فعل الخيرات وترك المنكرات وحب المساكين وأن تغفر لنا وترحمنا وتتوب علينا وإن أردت فتنة لعبادك فاقبضنا إليك غير مفتونين. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين والصلاة فاستغفروه الله.